In the heart of a bustling city lived a great prophet named Yunus. His mission was simple yet profound. He was sent by Allah to guide the people of Nineveh to believe in one God, to abandon their wrongdoing and embrace peace. He wandered outside, anger simmering within him. How could these people refuse the message of peace? How could they turn a deaf ear to the words of guidance? Alas, it was not his place to question the will of Allah. With a resolute step, Yunus began his journey away from the city. Each step echoed the sorrow in his heart. The sailors cried out in alarm. It was clear the ship could not withstand another such blow. They needed to lighten the load. Their eyes fell on Yunus, standing serenely amidst the chaos. Yunus, guided by the principles of compassion and understanding, did not argue. Instead, he nodded his head in solemn acceptance. The sailors, believing they had found the solution to their crisis, prepared to cast lots. The sailors on the ship watched him disappear into the turbulent waters. The sound of the waves grew muffled, distant. All around him was a vast, silent, inky blackness. Despite the pressing darkness, Yunus continued his descent. The more he struggled, the tighter the grip became, pulling him inexorably deeper. Panic began to rise within him, threatening to overwhelm him. But then something strange happened. The pressure suddenly ceased, the movement stopped. Yunus found himself suspended in the suffocating darkness, his heart pounding in his chest. Slowly, Yunus began to find a new resolve within himself. The darkness around him took on a different meaning. It became a canvas on which he painted his prayers, his hopes, his unwavering belief in Allah. Weak and disoriented, he struggled to his feet, his body aching, his clothes torn and tattered. Yet, despite the physical toll he had endured, a sense of triumph filled his heart. He had emerged from the depths of despair stronger and more resolute than ever before. They had realized the error of their past actions and were ready to embrace the path of righteousness. Moved by their sincerity, Yunus forgave them. Together, they embarked on a journey of faith, leaving behind the darkness of their past and stepping into the light of a shared future guided by the teachings of Allah. Suddenly, he felt an immense force, powerful and swift, wrap around him. It was a humbling experience that had tested his faith, challenged his resolve, and ultimately transformed his spirit. Now, with newfound respect for the power of Allah, Yunus began his journey back to the city. Before he could react, he was swallowed into a dark, narrow space. As he neared the city, he could feel a change in the atmosphere. The people of Nineveh had undergone a transformation. The very air they breathed seemed charged with a newfound sense of hope. Through his ideals, he had remained steadfast, a true servant of Allah, and in the end, it was his perseverance that led not only to his own salvation, but also to the enlightenment of an entire city. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, thirst parched his throat. Yet amidst this torment, his spirit refused to break. Yunus held on to his faith, turning to Allah in silent prayer. In the depths of his despair, he found solace in remembering the verses from the Quran, seeking strength in the words of guidance. Their faces etched with worrying and regret, they wished they had never accused him, never forced him to make that fateful leap. But now there was no turning back. Their only hope was in Allah's mercy. At first it was a gentle movement, but it soon grew into a violent rocking. Light began to pierce through the darkness, revealing the opening of the fish's mouth. The fish was disgorging him. Days turned into nights, and nights into days. The rhythmic rocking of the sea became his new reality. Hope began to dwindle, replaced by despair. In the suffocating darkness, Yunus felt utterly alone. With trembling hands, they drew lots, and 3 times, and only 3 times, the lot fell on Yunus. They did not understand his quiet strength, nor the depth of his connection with Allah. He knew this was his test of faith, his moment of truth. Looking out at the tumultuous sea, he took a deep breath and stepped forward. Without a moment's hesitation, Yunus jumped into the raging sea. As he plunged into the water, he whispered a silent prayer, seeking forgiveness and strength from Allah. The icy water enveloped him, sending a jolt of cold throughout his body. But Yunus was unfazed. He had faith in Allah's plan. To them, he was just another passenger, and a burdensome one at that. But alas, the path of righteousness was often met with resistance. "Yunus," they cried out, "you must be the cause of our suffering. Cast your lot, let us save ourselves." Yunus, taken aback by their accusation, looked at the troubled faces around him. He saw the fear that gnawed at their hearts, the confusion that clouded their minds. With a heavy heart, he realized that they did not understand the nature of their predicament. He was not the cause of the storm. The blame lay with none other than themselves. Before him stretched a vast expanse of water, mirroring the turmoil in his soul. Waves began to rise, crashing against the ship, threatening to swallow it whole. Fear gripped the sailors as the storm intensified. Now the wind screamed, waves crashed, and the ship tossed about like a leaf in a raging tempest. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the wild dance of the sea. Thunder roared, shaking the very foundations of the ship. The sailors clung to the mast, their faces pale with terror. It was here that Yunus made a decision that would change his destiny forever. He stepped into a waiting ship, hoping to sail far from the city and its pain. Again and again, Yunus called for his people to turn away from their sinful ways and seek forgiveness. Yet their hearts remained stubbornly closed. With heavy steps, Yunus left the city, his eyes glistening with sadness. He remembered the words of Allah, reminding him that patience was a virtue. Still, the storm raged on, testing the limits of their endurance. Hours turned into an eternity, each wave bringing fresh terror. Then came a moment of sudden silence. The wind seemed to hold its breath, the waves momentarily stilled. It was a deceptive calm before the next onslaught. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Yunus found himself beside a wide and restless sea. But fate had other plans. As the ship set sail, dark clouds gathered on the horizon, driven by winds that moaned like spirits of the sea. In the midst of the chaos, Yunus stood firm, his eyes fixed on the horizon. Suddenly, a massive wave struck the ship, causing it to list dangerously. They turned to him, their faces etched with desperation. Yet, in that moment of crisis, they saw only him as the source of their misfortune. When the third lot fell on him, Yunus felt a deep sense of calm wash over him. Around him, the sea roared, waves crashing and churning as if in a frenzy. As Yunus descended deeper into the sea, the light from above began to fade, replaced by an eerie darkness. Struggling to free himself from the constricting grip, Yunus kicked and thrashed, but his efforts were futile. He realized he had been swallowed by a gigantic fish. And so Yunus spent a period of time inside the belly of the fish. The stench of the fish filled his nostrils, a constant reminder of his confinement. His mind drifted back to the teachings of Allah, to the stories of those who faced trials and emerged stronger. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Yunus felt the belly of the fish begin to move. As Yunus emerged from the mouth of the fish, gasping for breath, he found himself washed ashore on a sandy beach. Looking back at the vast expanse of the sea, Yunus felt a surge of gratitude towards Allah. Each step was a testament to his resilience, each breath a prayer of thanks. Upon his return to the city, Yunus found the people of Nineveh repentant and eager to change their ways. And so the story of Prophet Yunus became a beacon of hope, a tale of immense patience and unwavering faith.